And we're joined in the studio with members of the Mouth Boat.
Hey Kent, hey Daryl.
Hey, what's up?
How you guys doing?
We're doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look all right.
Feeling great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the magic of radio does not transfer to your costumes today. Could you kind of fill in our listeners what you're wearing today?
I think they can hear it. I think they'll be able to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll come through.
They can hear the cowboy, the cool polar bear coming through here.
It'll come through on the sound waves.
So, let's talk about the Mouth Boat. You guys went on a pretty long hiatus as a band, and you recently kind of reformed to release a new album.
Well,
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, what happened was John has been to Korea a couple times, and that was kind of the Mouth Boat's 3 people, right? So, like when we got 1/3 of the band is out of the country, it's not really going to work. So we had a couple hiatuses, but this has been the longest one. And Goldwyn also moved out of Winnipeg, so I was the only one in Winnipeg. But John came back, and in the summer Goldwyn was back. So we had, 3 weeks maybe?
Yeah, it was a matter of about 3 weeks in August that we were all around and
We
got
just
together.
kind of wrote an album and recorded it within that time. So it was cool. I mean, we hadn't played anything in about 4 years, and I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, that first one was pretty spooky.
Spooky! Really fit this show. But in that time, you guys probably doing your own thing. Did anything change in that time? Is there a different sound to the Mouth Boat that happened as a result of this hiatus?
I guess the main thing is that the other albums were all about outer space and robots and shit, right?
Yeah.
This one is about ghosts, and it's called Spiritualism. Every song is in some way related to ghosts and late 1800s spiritualism.
Yeah.
All that stuff about people going to seances and stuff and going to these meetings where people would speak to the dead and Ouija boards and all that. So that's the kind of storyline.
Yeah, in 3 different parts of the world, we all ended up getting pretty spiritual. Who knew?
But yeah, no. So it's like a bit of a different focus. It's still weird. It's still, I think it still sounds similar. I mean, that last song really is the strangest one on the album, but the other stuff sounds very Mouth Boat-ish to me. But it's just a different subject matter.
And as far as getting back together and playing around, it was pretty much like nothing had changed, and that was part of the fun of doing it, was just getting in the same room and jamming away. I mean, the album we got together 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot. We
just took a couple ideas and ran with them. So.
I think we listen to different music now too than we may have 4 years ago. So there's that. I mean, I don't know what these guys are listening to, but I'm sure it's probably not the same thing. I mean, I'm not listening to the same stuff I was listening to 4 years ago. So.
Yeah. Now, was it a concern for you that you might maybe raise the dead during the process of making this album?
It would have been cool if it happened.
Yeah. Was that really the overarching goal?
Well, there was
Halloween hasn't happened yet, right? The album comes out on Halloween, so maybe if enough people download it. Yeah.
See if we can open up the gates of hell.
Yeah,
like
we
that
could try.
Gate movie.
We could try.
I remember that Gate movie. It freaked me out.
It was pretty good. Yeah, it was supposed to be a kids movie. I don't know.
Kids can handle a lot though for scary stuff, you know.
I know.
It doesn't. They don't get it until a few years later what they actually saw.
Yeah.
I saw horror movies when I was 12 that I probably shouldn't have.
No. Yeah.
And then you see it when you're 20, and it's just like, holy crap! I saw that one.
I remember playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre in a park.
Yeah.
It's like a little kid.
Yeah.
It's like probably warped my brain. Yeah. So, what's kind of next for the Mouth Boat? You're releasing on Halloween. Are you doing it any special events? I know you can't really
Goldwyn's
do
in
live.
Ontario, right?
Yeah.
So I really want to do a show in December.
Okay.
He's thinking he's probably going to be back for a few days at least over the holidays.
Yeah.
So it might just be a last minute, the week of, we put together some kind of show and invite whoever is willing to come. I mean, I don't know where we're really going to do it, but that could happen. And that's pretty much the only possibility for a show, I think.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we can get someone else to learn Goldwyn's parts.
That wouldn't.
It wouldn't work.
Happen
It wouldn't fly. I don't think it would.
Well, I mean, you guys were known for your approach was not to play let's say a bar. You guys always played art spaces and basements.
I don't know if that was by choice though. I think we would have played wherever. I think it's just that art. I mean, obviously these crazy costumes and stuff. People are thinking.
I guess they don't let you have giant smoking robot heads.
That would have been pretty funny if we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's as I recall, it was more of a word of mouth thing to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
to put a horrible pun on things, but yeah.
I guess to us, it's pretty exciting that we have a new album out and that we potentially can play a show and stuff. But I mean, I don't know how many people actually you're going to give a
Well,
shit that the mouth boat is, but
Well, you have some good, some decent.
At least
fans
two.
out there.
at least 2. Yeah, there
We're
you go.
both into it.
There you go.
so.
That's good. Yeah.
Every time I see a mouth boat, like Matt Foster, the Cricket Brothers, wearing a mouth boat shirt, we just nod.
Oh, I love seeing pictures of that guy wearing that shirt because they're playing like folk festivals and stuff,
Yeah.
and he's got a banjo, and then there's
who's
this mouth boat
this
shirt.
band?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You're his Daniel Johnston, I guess.
Yeah.
So, Halloween's coming up.
Yep.
Obviously you can't do a show, but are you guys going to do something for Halloween at all?
Well, aside from this is our Halloween show right here. This is not the mouth. Like, I mean, we have a new album, but we can't play it because there's only 2 of us. So this is something entirely different.
Well, personally, you're a father, Sam.
Yes.
You probably get into it, and
Oh yeah, for sure. My kid wants to be a pirate. It was her own choice. Yeah.
yeah,
So
you are.
pretty pumped. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, Halloween's great. It's a good
Any
holiday.
Halloween plans?
Giving out candy, taking my kid trick or treating. That's about it.
Yeah,
Tricks, treats, running scared. Yeah.
nice. Bottle of scotch.
Oh, you heard that.
So let's hear something new off the mouth.
I would. I think the song "Mr. Splitfoot" is it's the first song on the album. It's the one I think I'm happiest with how it turned out. I don't know about you, John, but that was my favorite on there. The whole album actually we got it mastered by Greg Arcade,
Very nice.
which is the first time. I mean, I don't even know what mastering is. It's the first time I got anyone to do it. So he volunteered to do it for free for us, which was fantastic. Because there's a third person who likes the mouth boat. So
There you go.
you
You got friends.
we
in
got
high
3.
places.
We got 3. Yeah.
We're gonna play that, and come back and talk a little more about the mouth boat and the mouth boat's future endeavors, possibly, and Witch Police and everything else that you guys are doing. So here we go, Mr. Splitfoot. And we're back here on Pixie Groove, the Spooktacular edition, with members of the Mouth Boat and the new Halloween incarnation of that, Galactics. Yeah, which we'll get to in a few minutes. We still want to talk a little more about the Mouth Boat and what's going on. That last song, Mr. Splitfoot. Where does that come from?
Back in the day when that spiritualism stuff was all popular, there was this family of sisters, and they became very famous by they made these rapping noises. Like they would crack some. I think it was they would just like crack some bones in their foot or something, and they'd make this like noise.
Yeah.
And they had developed this code as to what the raps meant, and so people would pay tons of money to come and see them, and they'd be communicating with the dead by like this series of raps, and it was like a Morse code kind of thing.
Wow.
But it was all they would just pop in their knees or feet or whatever it was under the table, and they claimed that they were talking to someone named Mr. Splitfoot, which was like a term for the devil.
Yeah.
So they were communicating with the devil and with the dead on stage in front of like hundreds and thousands of people in like the States in like 18 something. So that's what that's about.
Another great scary story from a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Wow. So you guys did like some pretty good research for this album.
I would say that
little
was
anecdotes and
Sam single-handedly.
No, I was actually
random things.
I was just reading about it. I read this biography on Harry Houdini.
Yeah.
Like a few months, maybe a year before this, and he spent a big part of his life debunking this shit.
Yeah.
Like, he would go around and he made it like a huge focus of his career to like shut these guys down who were doing this stuff and show everyone how it was fake and so I thought that was pretty cool that. It's just, I mean, I didn't know too much about it. I'd heard, you hear about Ouija boards and seances and whatnot, but like, it was cool that it was such a big industry back in then. And Arthur Conan Doyle was like obsessed with it, absolutely obsessed with talking to the dead and stuff. And I mean, he's writing characters like, like Sherlock Holmes and everything, who's super logical and everything is proven and all that. And then in his whole personal life, he's like obsessed with the occult and everything. So I thought that was cool. So I just read a bit more about it. And the Fox Sisters, that was the name of those girls with their rabbits.
And what were I know there's a song called Ectoplasm, or is it did you name it?
No,
something
it's
else?
called Ectoplasm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about ectoplasm.
Yeah. What were some of your favorite Gun and Ghost shows when you were a kid?
Well, I love the
TV and
Ghostbusters movies. I love the Ghostbusters.
Obviously, that's the greatest.
I actually
movie
rewatched those my wife and I watched those back to back a couple weeks ago.
Is there a third one? I don't think I've even.
Once a month.
They're trying to make one, and apparently
getting
they're going to make
stalled, right?
one, but without Bill Murray.
It's
so I'm a
pointless.
little,
You need
I'm a little
without Venkman.
freaked out.
It's not.
I heard he signed on to it,
The greatest franchise I heard.
and that they're
different.
just waiting on.
I
a
just
script.
happened to be part of the Ghostbusters 3 societies,
Yeah,
3
yeah.
tabs or whatever.
Those movies are great though. They're really, really good. I mean,
They're amazing.
I hadn't seen them in a while, but
they're their own genre because it's not
Totally.
exactly a comedy or like a a horror movie or
Yeah.
an adventure movie
it all,
or
yeah.
something. It's
Just
something.
smut.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
smut.
Yeah.